Hi anyone joining, please do ask any questions about adult colouring or any of the adult colouring sheets that I do, or any of my painting kits. I do come on lives for different things. I actually have art products, but I also sell these particular art supplies as well. It's the colouring pages and painting kits that I mainly sell on TikTok, but I'm a working artist, so I do sell a lot of art products as well. Just sharpen my pencil. Sorry about the noise. Hope you're all good on this lovely Sunday. Right, so we've got this is a really cute little drawing I've done of some 3 birds on a branch. There is a painting kit to go with this as well, but today we're just going in for the adult colouring. Now, I do also, while I'm doing this, just let you know why I'm doing what I'm doing, so you can perfect your own adult colouring. So I've gone over with, first of all, a light layer of green, because I want the parrot, it's not parrot, but I'm going for parrot colours. I'm going for really bright, vibrant colours. You'll see on the painting kit of this as well that they all are very, very bright, vibrant. This is a really good fun one. We're not going for realism on this one, that's for sure. We're just having a bit of fun. So now I'm going in holding the pencil quite far towards the end, and I'm just using the point to go around and put in the darker areas that I'm wanting to put in, which is mainly around where something else is creating a bit of shade. So if it's close to the other bird, or if there's anything else around. Just going to turn that music down a bit, it's a bit loud. Excuse my arm in the way. No, that's not done it because I'm pressing on the wrong thing. There we go. Okay, so we're going in for the head first. The head is going to be green and then some of the bottom underneath. As I say, I come on here to show you, give you some tips on adult colouring. Here what I'm doing is trying to blend the darker green into the lighter green. Please don't forget to follow, please. Try and help build up my channel on here on TikTok. I'm over, if you go into my profile, you'll see everywhere else that I am and all the different things that I do. I am a working artist, a working selling artist based in the UK. But these are products that you can have as a downloadable, and yeah, you can do at home. And of course I will at some point be putting a full-length video of these on, you know, the other platform for videos that I can't mention. Yeah, but for now I've got all of the adult colouring sheets in the TikTok shop for you to have a look at. But there will be full tutorials. If you're just learning how to do adult colouring, this is a great place to start. Now what I do recommend you get is a blending pencil. So when you have put your colours down, they might still be a bit grainy. We want to smooth that out. So you need what's called a blending pencil. Just type that into Google and it will come up if you haven't already heard of that little tip. And what you want to do is go over what you've done to get rid of the grainy effect, and it really smooths out the colouring pencil look. Okay, so that's so far all I want to do with blending for now, because I'm coming in with my third colour, my third shade of green. Now what I will say is, with every area where I choose a colour, I make sure I have 3 values of that colour, so that we definitely have our darks and our lights in. That is what makes the difference to all adult colouring, to all artwork of any kind, is your difference in value, your darks and your lights. So these sheets are all hand drawn by me. They are over on the TikTok shop. There's a lot of AI out there at the moment. Please do support your artists. These are hand drawn, they take time, and they have a lovely hand drawn feel about them when you're doing them as well. But there is a lot of AI colouring sheets out there. Click of a button, which is a shame for people like me, for artists. But it's the way of the world, isn't it? robots are taking us over slowly. Right. So that's kind of as far as I want to go for the head at the moment, because what I tend to do is work an area, do another area, and then come back to everywhere and kind of make sure I like the whole thing. Now at the top he's going to be a bit green, then he's going to fade into yellow and fade into orange and red, so it's going to be lots of fun. So I'm getting my lightest green again, and we're just going to put down a layer of that as well. I'm not going to go over those little feather marks there that I've drawn in, because I'm not actually sure what I'm going to do with them yet. On the painting they are white, and the painting kit, if you see in the shop, I've also done it as an acrylic painting for you guys, and you can get the kit and follow along. But yeah, I think we'll leave them white, and I might colour them, I might not, we'll see. But this is a nice cute one. I enjoy doing this one. So if you have any questions about adult colouring, about how to draw, how to shade or anything like that, please do ask. I have my other phone in front of me, so hopefully I'll see any questions. Right, that's just the first layer of green gone down there. I now need to pick a yellow that's going to fade into that. Again, I want a few kind of values of yellow, so I've gone for, hopefully you can see that okay, I've gone for a really light one, kind of a mid one, and then a yellow that's almost going into orange there. I do like to make sure they have a nice sharp tip. Sorry about the sharpener noise. So now I'm going from the green, and we're kind of going to have fun with this and just work down into a bit of yellow, but don't forget we're just doing the base layer. This is just the base layer. Please don't forget to follow my page. I'd really appreciate it. Anything you can do to help me grow the TikTok would be awesome. Right, so I'm just putting in the yellow, then we're going to go down to the oranges and the reds. And I'm just using the side of my pencil. Don't forget to rotate. That's a bad habit I have. I get so engrossed in what I'm doing and I don't rotate my pencil. And then you use up one side, and then when you turn it over, it's a bit too sharp. So you have to sharpen again, and you're wasting a lot of pencil doing that. So try not to do that. I'm just going to turn the music back up a bit. It's too quiet now. I need to get somewhere in the middle. That's about right. Fingers crossed. I do like relaxing music on when I'm colouring, because it's my time, switch off time, although I'm talking to you guys, but that's fine. Please remember, do ask any questions if you have any. We're just having fun with adult colouring this evening. So now we're coming down slightly in that darker yellow, and we're heading into orange in a bit, so that's why I've got the almost orange colour. And what you'll what you'll see happen is I'll start coming in with different highlights and darkened areas. Putting the values in from dark to light is what makes all illustrations pop, really. So I'm just kind of using the side of my pencil to do this, because we're covering a large area. We don't want to be holding the pencil close to the point. We need it far away, and we need to just be using the side and turning the pencil as we go. If you are in on the live, please do give me a follow. It would be much appreciated. Or a share. That would be awesome. Right. So we've gone from the lighter yellow into the darker yellow, and now we're going into the slightly more orange bit at the bottom. And in a minute we'll blend them together, and then we'll go over them again, trying to create some shadows, some lights and darks, which is what make it more, I mean, we're not going for realism here obviously, but it will make it seem more 3D. So I'm just going over there, trying to make sure that we've not got any white. Now, the trick, as I mentioned to others, I don't know how long you've all been in there, whoever's there. If you've not been there too long, the blending pencil is the key. Right, I'm coming in with a red at the very bottom. I'm going to turn my sheet just because it's getting easier to do it like this at the bottom. Make sure you do turn your paper, otherwise you end up with your hand in all sorts of weird positions. So I'm just coming in with a bit of red at the bottom. We may add some more later as we come up to the top. We shall see. Okay, so I just wanted a bit down there. We're going to blend. So this is a blending pencil, and all we do is we go over what we've got, and what that does is push the pigment of the pencil into the paper, and then when you've got two colours crossing, it helps to blend them together so that it doesn't seem so grainy. It just smooths everything out much better. Does depend on what type of pencil you're using as well. You get oily pencils, wax pencils. Well, actually all pencils tend to have a mixture of both, but some of them are more dominant in one than the other. So your waxy pencils tend to be softer and they will blend really nice, and your oily pencils tend to be a little bit harder, but you can get real good detail with those because they're firmer and harder, so you can get some nice fur details if you're doing fur. Right, okay, so I'm going to now go over, we're going to create some shadow. Let's get my other green. So we need some shadow underneath where his face is, so I'm going to come in here and pop some darker green in. Table's wobbling a bit today. Need to stop that. Come in with the much darker green. Go over those greens. Again, we will blend it in a moment, so you won't get any of that streakiness or grainy pencil. It will be gone. So if you've ever kind of wondered how people do their adult colouring and make it stand out and make it look 3D and all perfect, yeah, they're working on their values and they're working on their blending. Now I'm going to come in and press hard now, because what I want is to really get that darkened up underneath his chin. Okay, so, and sometimes you can come in with an even darker colour. Let's have a look. I've got a nice dark green. Is that going to do it? Not really. So sometimes then you can come in with a nice soft black. Okay, and you just go over the area that you want shadowed very lightly, because we don't want it to be black, we still want it to look green, but what the black is doing is darkening the value for us. We don't want to see black, we want to see the green, so I'm just putting a bit on top. Then we're going to get our blender. I'm going to blend that so that it kind of just starts to come down a little bit. Hopefully you can see that darkening up now, just under there where the shadow will be. Okay, there will also be, I need to go with the dark green here, there'll be some shadow where the ladybird is putting her wing over his shoulder. So we need to go and do that as well. Tap that in. Just putting a bit of black in right near the rim, and that will create some shadow, and then we also blend those together. Again, the blending tool is just pushing the pigment into the tooth of the paper and giving it a more seamless feel. Right, I'm coming up again. I'm coming up with a yellow further up, so we can start blending, really blending that green into the yellow there and making it lovely and vibrant. Hey Jan First, how are you? Didn't see you on there then. Hey Nicole, thanks for coming in. You're my #1 gifter, Jan First. I think that's because nobody ever gifts me. I haven't been on for a long time actually. Hi Lee, thanks for coming in. Hi Florin, thanks for coming in. Okay, so we're just working on blending. These are my adult colouring sheets that I designed. They're all hand drawn. No AI here. And I'm just coming on to teach you a few tips for adult colouring in, more to do with the mixing and blending of colours. It's fascinating. Oh good, I'm glad. Okay, so as we come down, we will swap over now to our darker orange. Again, I'm still using the side because we're still covering a really large space. So we don't want to be going to our point because our point is just for detail. Okay, then we're coming into the orange. We'll have an orange band or about here, and then we'll go into the red afterwards. So hopefully it's all starting to be like a nice little seamless rainbow on his body. And then at the bottom we're going to come in with the red. Got to try and get some more pigment down there because I didn't get rid of the graininess before. It didn't smooth out when I blended. So I think it just needs a bit more pigment. Let's go really, really red at the bottom. So I am going to use the point a bit just because I want to press a bit harder and be a bit more specific about where I'm putting it. And then we'll come in and blend it up into the orange. In fact, it wasn't really orangey orange. Let's get a more orangey orange. There we go. That's better. And we're kind of missing that tangerine orange at the bottom. So let's blend that up as well. Now remember, I'm just trying to get that pigment down, so I'm using the side of the pencil. Then we need our blender pencil. So this is a separate blender pencil. It doesn't put any pigment down. All it does is push the pigment you've already put down into each other and into the tooth of the paper a bit more, and it will help to give a much smoother feel to the look of it. It won't be so grainy. Oh, I'm going to have to turn that music down again. It's supposed to be relaxing, but it's really irritating me. There we go. Oh, right, how are we doing? Let's have a look. So very often you can get so engrossed in it, you need to look further away and think, how's it coming on? So now what I want to do before I go on to the other birds is I really want to darken up the dark areas of this. This is value is the most important thing when you are creating your images, when you are painting or drawing, doesn't matter what. You've got to have your really lights and your really darks so that it has a 3D feel to it. Even if you're not doing realism, like we're not here, we still want it to have a bit of a nice 3D feel to it. So I might just come down here with a bit of that green as well. Yeah, why not? Why not? Okay, so I'm going to come down with a bit of the dark, really down the bottom, just a little bit of black into that red. It's what I like to do. It's just one of my tips, not everybody does, but it just really helps to darken up the very dark shadowed areas. Now I'm going to put some more orange here because he will be shadowed by the other bird that's there. That will be creating some shadow going round. Then we get the yellow as well. because we just want a darker version of the colour that's already there, and then make sure they're blending in together. And then you can kind of sort of see that shadow appearing next to where that bird is. Hopefully you can see that anyway. I think I'm going to bring the orange up a little bit further. That's my son just walking in. He's been out. Hello. You okay? Bit of an immense day. He got on the train and...
Onto the back of the train. I didn't realise it stopped at Hull.
Yeah, well...
So then I started running on the train. The second I got to get off it, was like moving. I was like...
He had to get off the train, but he needed to be nearer the front of the train. So he missed his stop because he was at the back of the train. And then he had to go like a 2-hour journey out of his way, there and back.
Yep.
Because there were no stops.
Yep.
So he had to go all the way out to somewhere he didn't need to go to, just to come all the way back.
Well, you should have paid for £5.
Isn't he silly? Anyway, he's had a fun day sitting on a train, bless him. Yeah. Okay. Silly Billy. Okay. So I now think, before doing the face and the eyes, I think I'm going to move on to the blue. This bird over here is going to be blue. So let's get some nice blue shades. So again, when you start your colouring, you need to pick out a light blue, a mid blue, and a dark blue. Okay. So I think I've got some there. Maybe an even lighter one. We'll try it. Let's just try it. We'll see how we go. Sorry, noisy sharpener, but look, it does the job. There is a nice point there. Okay, so now we're just going over. Never even heard of a blending pencil. Yeah, it does. It makes such a difference. It really does. Always have a blending pencil handy. Okay. So now we're going over the whole of this bird, just faintly with this first layer of blue. We're just getting some pigment down. Don't forget to turn your pencil so you don't have one straight edge of your points. Keep turning it as you go round. Right, turning my sheet now, because I like to go with the movement of whatever it is that I'm drawing, because then you get a better sense of direction from the eye of whoever's going to be looking at it. He's got food, he's got drink, he's happy, he's gone. No. Right. So turn around that way. So you can see even with the same coloured pencil, just by using your pressure, you can change the value anyway. So I'm going to go over what I did there, but I'm going to go in the other direction. This is our lighter blue, so we still want to keep it light, but I just felt like I was a bit too light there. Okay, keep using the side of your pencil. Make sure you turn your pencil. There we go. Okay. And down here, we mustn't forget this bit. This is also Mama Bird. I do realise it's not politically correct. It's like a daddy bird, a mummy bird and a baby bird. And I know that there are all sorts of different sorts of families out there these days. So excuse the unpolitical correctness of the drawing. It's still cute though. Right. Now we're going to move on to the next value of blue. And wherever we feel we want to put some dark in. So, oh, this is an artful pencil. They are good, but they do seem to break, sadly. Let's try again. No, I think it's broken all the way through. Let's get another medium blue then. Such a shame because they are lovely pencils, but a lot of them seem to be broken all the way through. I used to get those, for those of you that are into your arty crafty stuff, I used to get the artful sets just for fun, just for experiencing new types of art and things. But what happened with these pencils, sadly, is that they came and they're very breakable, but really lovely and soft and creamy and easy to blend. So what I'm going to do now is come into some of the darker areas and just shade in a bit more with the point underneath the feathers. Where there's some breaks in the feathers, maybe just put some at the end as well. It's up to you where you put your values in on your pictures. You just have to kind of imagine where there might be some darker bits and some lighter bits. Okay. I might just get my clipboard because I feel as though it needs something to lean on. Where is it? Oh, it's in the other room. I'm not going in the other room because if I go in the other room and open the door, the cats will come in and then they'll just start wanting to chew everything. Right. I'm going to put some here as well, where these lines are. Just kind of patch it in. It's just creating a bit of interest, really. I'm going to put some under the eyes. A bit more of that darker colour there. A bit more here on this side. Okay, and then I think we'll come underneath those little patches. Again, I'm not sure what colour I'm going to do them. I'll probably just stick to blue, but just perhaps just a different blue. Okay. Let's get some blending done as well. I think I'm going to come in down there with it too, because it's darker there. It will be darker there from the shadow of the wing coming down to where the baby head is. Same here. So now we're going to get the blending pencil, and again, as I've said, if you haven't been here, this just removes the graininess of your strokes. Stops making them, you stop seeing the strokes, you're just blending the pencil into the paper and it just smooths everything out. So it's a colourless pencil blender. And if you love your adult colouring, this will be one of the best investments you'll ever make, getting a pencil blender, because it has like a magic effect on your drawing of just pulling everything together. Okay, so I've just blended those different values of blues into each other. Do the wing. Don't think I did the wing. So you'll see the difference between a blended part of the wing here to a not blended. You've got very distinct different markings, and we're trying to just blend them in so they don't stand out like just these lines of pencil. Okay, we're going to move on to the really dark, kind of purpley violet now. And that's where we're going to put in our darkest shadows, wherever we feel they should be. And then again, we'll use the colourless blender to blend it into the rest of the picture. Now, until I've got all of the birds done, I won't really put anything too dark in. I'll tend to do that at the very end. I'll keep all my colours penciled to the side that I've got, like these. I know I've got the right ones. This is more of like an indigo blue, slightly on the purple side. That's okay. Come in and just do the head a bit there. And as we put the colours on top of each other, they do automatically blend a little bit anyway. But the blending tool makes all the difference. Okay. Just go over that now. And it just removes the graininess. Press nice and hard. Not sure I've got it dark enough. I think it needs to be much darker. As I say, I like to put the really dark shades in towards the end. And we've still got another little bird to go. Get the blending pencil, go over any dark areas that you've done, and make sure you're pushing that pigment into each other and the paper, and then you get a really nice smooth effect, like the pros. It just removes the graininess, it removes any lines that you've made that you don't really want to see, the pencil lines. You just want that smoothed out effect. Sorry, my table's shaking. It's not my normal table, so I won't use this one again. It's not coping well as I scumble in my colours. Right. So we can see it's a bit lighter on that side. I'm kind of imagining the light's coming from this direction. So this is why this bit's darker, and I probably will make it darker in a bit, especially in that corner. Okay, so now we're going for the little bird down here, which is mostly oranges and reds. So I'm going to start off by just doing a whole cover of the orange, just pressing really lightly. It really helps to have wax pencils, wax-based pencils to do this kind of work, and then come in with your detail with oil-based pencils afterwards. So you tend to get two types of pencils, either dominant in wax or dominant in oil. They tend to have both in them, but they will be dominant in either. So these, the one I'm using now is actually from 𝗏𝗏𝐿. I used to get the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 boxes and I really enjoyed them. They're really, really lovely and waxy and creamy, and look, you can see how easily that's going on and spreading round. So I'm going to do that first. Right, then I'm going to come round and start to put some shadows in the darker areas. So that will be under the wing, and under his chin will be the darker areas. And then I think under the beak here a bit. And kind of the whole of the face a little bit on the bottom part. If we're imagining the light's coming from this direction, just think anything hitting, any light hitting him on the top is going to be lighter, but he'll be dark around the edges and underneath of anything. Okay, and then he'll be quite dark generally around the belly area, the bird's belly area. I'm not sure what the anatomy of a bird is. Anyway. There we go. So now what we can do is, we've still got all the grainy marks there. We want to get rid of that. And you can see how the blending pencil really helps to bring out the vibrancy of the pencil. And that's what I love about the blending pencil. It's colourless blending pencil. It's a really good tip for you guys if you love your adult colouring, is to always go over your work with a blending pencil. And also when you do a final finish, to burnish with a burnish pencil, and that will give it a really nice smooth shine. But you can see as I'm going along, it's completely changing the strength of the pigment, because I'm kind of crushing it into the paper with the blending pencil. And if I'd put two colours down, it would be really blending them together nicely. I'm really sorry about the wobbliness of my table, and I won't use this table again. It's driving me nuts. Never mind you lot watching. Right, so coming round. Just making sure I've blended that first layer in of that bird. And you can see that where I've put a bit more orange, it is a bit darker. But now I'm going to come in and put another layer down in the darker areas. And then blend that in, because we really want to create some nice shadows, which helps to give our illustration, our colouring sheet, that kind of real look to it, the nice 3D look. And you always want to be moving your pencil in the direction of where you think the shape would be coming in. So I'm imagining the bird in this picture is not a real bird, is it? It's like a ball. So I'm kind of just coming around in the ball shape. Just going to put that in. I think what I'm going to do as well on the belly to lighten it up a bit is add some yellow in. Now that's nice. So I'm just going over the orange with the yellow. It's really nice to layer over your pencil colours when you want to create a new kind of value or shade. See, I was coming from the very dark orange into the light orange, but I just felt it was a bit pale and it needed a little bit more of a glow. So I added the yellow. So now I'm going to go over that with my blending pencil. And we're going to try and make sure everything is all mixed together nice. We're getting the real punch of the colours. That's what the blending pencil will do. It's a great tip. Make sure if you're into your adult colouring that you use the blending pencil, because it will be the difference between it looking grainy and full of pencil strokes. I mean, you can see the difference between the body and the head, because I've not done the head yet, not properly. And I've really pushed the colours into each other and blended them lovely. So you can hopefully see the difference between the darker bits here and then the lovely light tummy area. Right, so now I'm going to go over his face again where I want it a bit darker, which is where I think, in my head, I think the shadows will be. So I'm going over that again. I'm going to use my blending pencil just to bring the orange colour out. Oh, I'm so sorry. The worst wobbly table in the world. Won't be doing this table again. This is kind of like my office table rather than my studio painting desk. So, yeah, I've made a mistake there today. Hey ho, I will carry on. I will soldier on. I think I'm going to put some of the yellow up here as well, because then it will bring in the same colour that's in his tummy over to here. Let's That's nice. Right, and then I'm going to come in with some red. So we're really going to come in where the shadow areas are and kind of red up those areas, make them really, really dark. And I like to do my final really, really darks once I've got kind of the whole picture in, and then I'll just come over everything and really punch it. Punch it, I shouldn't say it like that, but it makes the picture pop out. It makes it punchy when you put your darkest values in at the end. That's how I like to do it anyway. I mean, everybody's different, but it's a good tip. I get all my main kind of colours and values in, and then once I've got the entire picture kind of done and placed, I'll then go over and start to add usually darker values. But I do also sometimes come in with like a white gel pen and add in any highlights as well with a white gel pen. I think it'll be quite dark here as well, so let's add some of that red in there. Okay, and then we'll do the same on the face. Blending that in. So then we get our blending pencil out again, and as you can see, it just makes it, I hope you can see that anyway, just makes it so nice and smooth. It brings out, it's a colourless blender pencil if you didn't know what it was, and it just brings out the colour and smooths it all out. It gets rid of the graininess for us. So again, where I've put the darks is because I'm imagining the light kind of coming this way on the baby, and then the baby is sheltered a bit in the body by the mum bird, but the head will be getting some of the light. Okay, but you know, it's adult colouring. You don't need to worry too much. You just have fun with it. That's the main thing. There's a few colouring sheets over in my shop. I've got lots to add yet, but I just wanted to come on and do a live while I had the time. Okay, so that's them all done. Now the branch, I'm not going to do it brown. We're going to go for purple because we can. So we will. So I'm going for 3 different shades of purple. Okay, we're going to put the light shade down. I'm going to cover the whole thing in just that light purple shade. Making sure I've got good coverage of that lighter shade of purple. That's good. Don't forget to move your paper. If it's at an awkward angle for you and you feel like you could do better, turn it. Don't forget to turn your pencil as well, otherwise one side of it will be going down and not the other. So always be turning your pencil. Okay. So that's the first little layer of purple down. Then we're going to come down with quite a nice vibrant purple. I always make sure you've got your, sharpener to hand. So what I'm coming in here is just coming in to darken up the areas where I think there'll be shadow, which will be just underneath the birds for sure. And then again at the bottom, as the branch goes into the background. So that will help to make it 3D by giving it that darker value of purple on the top bit and then also on the bottom. Hopefully you can see that. In a minute we will blend it so it won't be a complete like streak of purple. We'll be blending it up so it will have a nice feeling of a branch, and we'll also be coming in with like the darker purple to create some kind of branchy markings. Right, blender pencil. So we get our blender pencil and then we'll basically blend those colours into each other by going over it with a blender pencil, and you can see the difference that it makes. I hope you can anyway on that camera. So it kind of takes away that feeling of being able to see the strokes and see the graininess, because you're really pushing it in. So yeah, if you're into your adult colouring or you just want to learn how to draw and colour yourself, then the blending pencil is what you'll need. Please do ask any questions if you have any, guys. I am a teaching artist, but I also teach the adult colouring as well. There's painting kits available over my TikTok shop if you want to go and have a nose. Okay, so now we're going to come in with the darker purple, and we're going to just have a bit of fun and just kind of draw some graininess into our branch, because at the moment it's got nothing to it to suggest it's a branch. It just looks like a pole. So we just need to come in and just put some little marks in, just little grooves like you would have on any other branch. But we're using the purple, we don't need to stick to the normal colours. As long as we're using the values of light to dark, it doesn't really matter. There we go. And then we'll just go over it again with our light colours in the middle. And we'll come in with that darker purple. I'm just going to sharpen it again. Oh, the artful pencils again. Sadly, the artful ones aren't working very well. It's alright if I'm just doing it for myself, but when I'm showing you and then they just snap, it doesn't help. Let's try this one. This one I haven't sharpened yet. It's more of a blue purple really, but we can use that as a way of just getting in some of those darker values and markings on the branch. We're just having fun, remember. We don't have to use branch colours or anything like that. This is adult colouring. We're going for some wild, random colours. And don't forget as well, the painting kits are over in the shop, and the videos for the painting is over on another video channel that I shan't mention. Okay. I'm quite happy with the branch, but I will be coming back in and darkening up quite a bit of that at the end. Right. Now we need to come in and do the beaks and the eyes and things like that. So let's find my black here, and the eye is basically just black. So, but what helps make the eye look like an eye is these little white spaces. We keep those white. Now, as you can see, I've kind of gone in with grey. I haven't gone full-blown black yet, because what we'll do is, like I said ages ago, depending on how long you've been on there, that I do like to come in at the end and then put my dark values everywhere and really make the picture pop. So there we go. And our little one, a little wee bird over here. Let's get you in. So what I think we'll do is finish the birds, finish the branch, and then go for it with the little hearts. Right, so I've got one layer of black on the eyes. I'm just going to smooth that out with my blending pencil. You can see the difference. It just gets rid of the graininess and just pushes that pigment around and into the teeth of the paper, the tooth of the paper. It just looks so much better. And when you're doing sort of professional artwork, if you ever get there, if it's something you're thinking about doing, that's a big tip. Blending pencil. Okay, coming in with my black again, but this time I'm just going to really emphasize the section which is coming down towards the beak and make that really black. Same down here. I'm going to do that on all three of them. So I'm just coming in and darkening up some areas of the eyes, and it will help by having those different values in the eyes to kind of make them look a bit more real, a bit more 3D. Right, so now we're going to come in for the beaks. So we'll use like a dark yellow, yellowy orange, and quite a dark orange. I think I might actually in the very middle just use my light yellow. So I'm just going to put a bit of light yellow down in the middle of all of them, like that, because we're going to blend that in now when we come in with the yellowy orange. Sorry, I don't have much room because my camera's right here and I realise I keep pushing the picture off. And then I'm going to come in around the edges of the beak and really roughly going in. As long as I'm sort of there, it's fine. I'd already put some colour on that little one because he was orange and yellow anyway. It just kind of ended up going in. Right. So I'm coming around the edge again because we want the yellow in the middle to be lighter than the yellow around the outside. So we're just layering the outside of the beak up with that colour, and then we're going to come in with the orange colour around the edges like that, and that will really help, just popping it in around the edges to make our beak look nice and 3D. There we go. Do the same with the others. And then we'll come in with a blending pencil and we'll smooth out all the graininess and all the lines, because we don't want to see all that. Okay, so blending pencil out, and this will just flatten down the pigments. Oops, push the pigments. This is a colourless blender. It'll push all the pigments of the pencils into each other and create a nice smooth blended effect. Sorry about the wobbly table. Got to sort that out. It's driving me mad today. Right. So that's the blending pencil for you. You just must have one if you're into adult colouring. Right. I'm going to come in with the red a little bit around the edges. Just around the very edges of the beaks. Again, that will help to push the lights forward and make our drawing pop a little bit by having some nice dark areas in around the edge. There we go. And here as well. Please do say hi, don't be shy. If you have any questions, please give me a shout. Or if you have any tips for me, that'd be awesome. We all, no matter where we are in our creative stage, we're always learning. Right. So here he's kind of got this funny little fluffy bulgy bit under his chin. So I don't know what to call that. Sorry guys, I don't know what the real name is. So I'm just going to say it's a little fluffy bulgy bit under his chin. Okay, and we're going to do the same. We're going to build that up. I'm going to keep it orange, I think. And obviously, because we're doing just a colourful bird picture, it's an illustration, it's not real. You can choose whatever colours you want. You don't have to follow me. Hello to anyone joining. Hi guys, thanks for coming in. We're just doing adult colouring today. I'm here for hints and tips. So coming in with the red the red will just really help to give us the darker value. And again, like I've said, it pushes the light into make it pop. Try not to mix too much of the dark up into the light, otherwise you lose your light as well. I must remember that. So it's light into dark. I sometimes forget to say that. I still don't think it's dark enough, so I like to come in with another layer and just really darken up the dark areas. And you can see how much it makes it pop. So we're nearly coming to the end where we do go over and do all our darks, but not quite. So what we've forgotten to do, but luckily I kept the colours out, is the wing of the mama bird lovingly holding the daddy bird. So let's do that. And I'm just going to draw kind of some little strokes in as though they're like feathers. And then I'll just blend them into each other so that we've just kind of got a feel of some strokes there. Use my blending pencil, which will smooth out all of the pigment, but it will still keep that feathery feel. And then I'm going to come in again with the same one and just draw some more lines in, because I do actually want it to have some kind of definition in there. Right, so now we need to think about, now I wasn't going to put any colour on those, I was going to keep them white, but I think I will. So on this bird here, because there's no purple or blues on it, I'm going to come in and just go for the nice dark purple on the baby bird. There we go. Might do the same on mama bird because it's quite close to the blue colour anyway. I'm going to just keep them as a flat colour. I'm not going to worry too much about. Well, I can kind of come in and press a bit harder at the bottom and make them darker there. Hopefully you can see that. So they're darker going out to lighter. So let's just do that. And that gives us our value. So where the points are, I'm just going to go and do them a little bit darker. And it helps to just give them a little bit of 3D-ness. Okay. Now we're going to come into our bird here. And actually what I'm going to do with this one, I want a nice dark green. And I'm just going to go over them with the dark green lightly and then push hard at the top. So we're kind of getting the different values in there. So lightly and then press hard at the top. And then we'll kind of get in a little bit of 3D-ness in there. It's very difficult in a small space to get that in, but I'm trying. Okay. Please do ask any questions, any art questions. I am happy to answer. I do work in watercolours, acrylics. I teach over on YouTube. All the links are in my bio. I have painting kits and sheets, colouring sheets. I haven't added everything to the TikTok shop yet, but I'll get there. So I think I'm going to keep my Sundays, maybe Sundays or Mondays, to my adult colouring days when I come on here. And I haven't decided what I'm going to do on the other days, but I think it'd be good if I do a different thing like every time I come on. What do you reckon? Watercolours would be a nice one to do. They're nice and quick. Or acrylics take a bit longer. I suppose I could do like mini paintings. Could come on and do little mini ones. Right. So now I'm just going to come up with that same green and kind of curve the eye around there. And darken down here. It could have been any colour really. It could have been more of a birdie colour like brown or something. But that's up to you how you do it. So again, I've gone lighter here. I haven't pressed very hard, and then much darker here. I've done just one colour there. I'm going to come in and darken it up again. I want the corner there to be darker than the rest of the eye. Okay, so that's the birds pretty much done, apart from, I've just realised I haven't done, oh hang on, I haven't blended that eye fully. That needed to be darker at the back, because this eye is at the back. There, that's better. Okay, so now I need to just quickly do their claws. I forgot about the claws. So again, I'm putting the darker values of pencil colouring underneath the birds, because that's where the shadow is going to be. And then I'm going to blend it in with my blender pencil, like so, and try and get those colours just to all mesh together nicely. Hopefully you can see that okay. I realise sometimes the writing comes up at the bottom and you can't see very well. So I'm going to come in with an orange in the middle and then the red at the back, and then that creates the 3D-ness of the darker value in the background coming down to lighter, but then again at the bottom it needs a bit of darkness again, because that's going to be curled under. Now remember, these are illustrations, they're just fun. We're not doing realism here, it is just fun. So although I talk about making it look 3D, it's just because I want to still give it an idea of 3D-ness. So the leaves, on the actual design, it's a square design, that's why they're cut off there, and you don't get to see the whole thing. So I think we'll come in with a really nice natural looking light green. It's like an olive green. Sorry, sharpener noise. Always make sure you've got a nice sharp pencil. I'm going to use the side to come in first, and then I'm going to turn the pencil. Make sure I'm not using the same side, and then you wear away the pencil evenly, and it will help to make your pencil last longer. Because if you wear out the one edge, you have to sharpen it. Whereas if you're wearing out all the edges, you don't need to sharpen as much. So keep turning. I've actually gone for green, which is a normal colour of leaves, but the branch is purple. But hey, you know, we're making it up here. It's all good. That's the joy of adult colouring, isn't it? That you can. Right, so we've just put, obviously, that one colour down. We need to build up our values now. I would say, what I normally do, where that line is in the middle, I usually come down quite hard with a darker line, because that's where the colour will be kind of merging into the middle of the leaf. I'm going to come in with another darker but more natural kind of looking green. Sorry, loud sharpener. And I'm just going to add some of that where there will be shadow underneath, and then just kind of blend bits in, because naturally leaves will be all sorts of shades of green as the light hits it. So coming in there quite dark, and then just blend a bit of it into the other green. I'm going to come in quite a bit darker there. Quite much darker? It's not good English, is it? Quite a bit. Okay. And then just blend the green down. Again, I just want to keep making sure I've got that nice dark shadow underneath the branch. And then I'm just doing a little shade. In a minute we will blend it in with the blending pencil. So it will look a bit more natural. I'm going to come down the middle as well. Please do give me a follow if you haven't already. I have lots of tips and hints for not just adult colouring but painting as well. I'll be adding more and more videos. I do lots of art tutorials. Used to be a teacher. Right, so now we're going to get the blending pencil out, and what this will do, I hope you can see, is just push the pigment into each other so that there's not so much of a grain or a streakiness. Can you see how that's different to all the others now? It's much smoother blend of one colour into the others, but it's still kind of keeping the form of the leaf, the darker bit where we want it, but it's pushing the pigments into the paper and into each other, which is creating that lovely smooth, non-grainy, non-streaky effect, nice and flat and smooth. So I do recommend any of you that are wanting to get into pencil art, you need a blending pencil, or 2 or 3. I think I have 4. Because when they start to get low, I replace them, but then I start using them all, so I end up with loads of little shorts. Okay, nearly done on the leaves. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with some black, which is what I like to do. See if I can find it. There it is. And when I want to start making some darker, really dark kind of shadows, I come in with black at the end to really define it, but we're going over the colour that's already there. So we're just changing the value of that green and we're just darkening it. It's what you do with paint as well. If you wanted to darken up a colour, you put a tiny little black in it and it will really help to give the impression of a darker value. Just a little tip there. Okay, so you can start to see the shading at the top there where it will be under the tree, coming to life, but it's not completely black, although I'm using black because I'm just going over the green that's already there. So it's just creating a dark green, same as if you were using paints. Okay, so hopefully you can see that they're kind of coming to life a little bit, those leaves. They're looking a bit more 3D than they did. Helps to kind of like, I just then step back, and it helps to, if you move further away from it, it helps you to see what you still need to do. So make sure you're doing that. And I'm just going over and I'm bringing that dark down a bit more. I wasn't happy with where the placement was of the darker bits. I just felt there wasn't enough coming down. So now we'll blend that in down now on all of those leaves. And hopefully I'll feel better about it when I step away. Yes, they're starting to come to life a little bit. When I mean come to life, I mean actually look 3D. There we go. Okay, so I'm now coming in with the black in just some little places where I really want to punctuate where it's dark. So right in the little crevices and things like that. That is where it's going to be really dark, and we're just coming over the colour because we still want it to be that colour. We just want a darkened version of it. We don't want to spoil all the nice colours that we've put down. We just want it to be a shade darker. So we're just pressing lightly, but that automatically, hopefully you can see that, darkens that up anyway. I'm going to do the same with the branches. I have already gone over it with some darker purpley colours. But now I just want to go over some of the areas and just darken up with my black. I'm not sure if this is what everyone does, but it's what I do. And I really like the effect it has. So pressing really hard around the edge and then just lightly bringing some of that dark colour in. But pressing really, not pressing hard, but going over it so there's just a really nice dark edge in the distance. And then just lightening it up a bit again as you come into the middle. But then it just helps, hopefully you can see that, it just gives it that more of a 3D look. And I'm going to bring it in as well to the middle and kind of just put some shadows, like there should be a darker bit here under the bird. So that's going to definitely be darkened up. Okay. And I'm going to darken up some of the branches a little bit. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Right, so now I'm coming in on the birds, and I'm going to try and darken up some of the shadows there. Using my black, I'm going over what my lovely gorgeous colours that are already there, and I'm just going over some of it lightly just to darken up. It makes all the difference. Okay, and I think underneath there as well. Hopefully you can see how that's working. I'm just going to move to the side a bit because it was getting a bit too pointed. I don't really want any streaks there. I mean, we can blend the streaks out, but I still don't really want to put them in there. So I'm just going to, as you can see now, it's just become a dark orange. I hope you can see that on your phones anyway, or whatever you're watching on. I don't know if that brings it any closer, but yeah, much darker there. And then again, coming around from where this bird is like tucked into the mummy bird, it's going to be darker there. So just put a little bit of shade in, a little bit in there as well. And that helps with the 3D. Right, we're going to come in with, although the bird's blue, I think this really nice kind of ultramarine blue has got a little hint of purple in it. So we're going to come up and kind of, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going for it. I just want to add a little bit of it to the wing and kind of bring a little bit of the colour here in. Have kind of a purpley blue wing. Sometimes you just got to go with whatever your brain is telling you to do. And it's best to switch off sometimes and just play with the pencil and see what happens. And that's basically what I'm doing. You can't ruin it. You can't ruin it because it's just yours and you're having fun. Let's get some blending pencil and we're just going to blend it in now. I like that. It's just giving it an added dimension, added another kind of shade of colour in. Now we're going to come in with the dark blue, and rather than me putting the black down, I'm just going to come in and press really hard with that dark blue that we've already used on her, just to give us some nice tips at the end of her wing. Sorry, shaky table today. Tomorrow will be better. That's if I come on tomorrow. Not sure what I'm doing. Probably not tomorrow, but the next time. So hopefully that's helped with the tips. I'm going to leave it quite light up the top because that's where the light's going to be hit. Not so much here. I can come in a bit darker here actually. Use the blending pencil to blend. Please do give my channel a follow, guys. I'd really appreciate it. I say channel because I'm used to YouTube, but yeah, my page, whatever you want to call it. Okay. I'm basically just coming in over the birds now and adding some darker marks where I feel that we need kind of some darker marks, and always kind of go in the direction of the way, sorry, that's I'm on Live 360 with my kids, and when their battery's going low on their phone, it makes that horrible noise. So yeah, you all now know that my son's battery on his phone's getting low, aren't you lucky? Useful piece of information, not. Right. So hopefully you can see now I've darkened up some areas on the bird. I mean, you can keep going for a long time, working on your darks and lights and the values. but we don't want to be here all night, so just put them in where you feel that you would like to have them. I'm going to put some dark bits to the end of the wing here because the light will be touching the top of that wing. Again, I'm just going to blend it in with my blending pencil. Okay. Oh, is it time for the hearts? I think it's time for the hearts. So what I think I'll do with the hearts is I will just bring in some of the colours that we've already used on here. So, yeah, I'm going to go light, first of all, and then create a little bit of 3D-ness by coming around the edges and making them darker. And then that helps just to make it pop a little bit. So then we'll blend it in so there's no streakiness or sort of ground markings, grainy markings. And then we can come in again and just darken up those edges. Right, so let's have a little orange one here. Let's have a little red one over here. We'll have another orange one here. But don't worry too much about the values in the hearts. It is what it is. They're just hearts. We don't need to make them look all 3D. I'm only using the colours that have been in the picture. It really helps with your pieces of work, whether it's adult colouring, painting, whatever. If you have sort of the set colour scheme that you want to use, don't go over too many colours. You know, pick about, well, I've got mainly greens, blues, oranges and some purple. And if I started adding in other things, it would just get a bit too confusing and messy and it wouldn't look good. So that's your absolute maximum, I would say. And if you've got a picture that doesn't have very many different parts in it, I wouldn't even have that many. Just 3. 3 is a good number for something that's simple. I hope you're all good today, everyone. It's been a gorgeous sunny day where I am. I'm in Cornwall, in the UK, and it's absolutely gorgeous weather today. Although I haven't been in it much, I have been in working, but I sit by the back door and look out, and that's enough for me. I'm not much of a sitting in the sun type of person. Oh, we haven't done any blue hearts. Some blue hearts. Please do give my profile a follow. It would be much appreciated. Give me a like. That would be awesome. Right. I'm still learning about all this TikTok stuff, so I'll get there. I'm trying to fit it in whilst running other aspects of the business, and it's just crazy. So I thought, well, I like to colour in at night. I may as well do it in front of the camera. And it'll get me on. I'm looking for my blending pencil. There it is. There it is. Okay. So I'm just going to go in and blend out my hearts, get rid of the graininess on those, particularly on the big ones. It doesn't matter on the little ones because you can't really see. And just make sure I'm happy. So we've forgotten on his head, his markings. We had dark green down here, didn't we? Maybe we should put orange in, because he's very orange and green, isn't he? Let's go for some orange feathers on his head. Why not? Again, it's adult colouring. You can do whatever you like. Thanks for coming along, those of you that are stuck with me. I really appreciate you being there. Hopefully more and more as I go on, there'll be more and more people in the live with us. But, yeah. Now, personally, I would probably keep going on this and working on it and making darker areas and lighter areas. But I think for the live, that's it. So thank you so much for coming along, those of you that have popped in. And, yeah, I'll see you next time. I mostly will be on evenings from about 7:30, 8-ish, once I finish the dinner, cooking the dinner and doing mom duties. So it's usually about that time. So Please don't forget, I've got my adult colouring pages in the shop, but I've also got painting kits with videos to go along over on YouTube. I'm hoping they won't pick that up. TikTok shop, they probably will. I've just said that, naughty. But yeah, I am over there. If you go to the links in my bio, everything I do is over there, so you can see everything I do. Anyway, thank you so much. Take care, everyone. I hope you have a good evening. Bye now.